Hi, Victor. So you can understand the document, pull out all the tables, and you also mentioned the understanding of individual clauses. How do you do that?
Well, me personally, no. Okay, so for our applications and our programs, they, again, just like the classification and topics, the extraction thereof, this is very often, and for most companies, a supervised machine learning problem where you're going to have to do a lot of labeling and you'll rely usually a lot on deep learning, right? That's the typical way, and it's totally fine. There's also the ability to do some of this with unsupervised machine learning, where you're basically letting the machine find how closely related different sections or paragraphs might be, and those may be your clauses or articles. So then you get like a clumping. So imagine like a two-dimensional graph. You have clumpings of like observations, and some of these clumpings are this type of clause, some are that type of clause. You're still going to have to look at a version of those, but you may not have to look at all of them. So that's sort of getting a little under the hood of how we do some things. There's some sort of unsupervised magic that we do to help us not have to label absolutely everything. However, what you really need to do is segment the heck out of this document. So you now have, let's say, a normal lease agreement that we've all probably seen. You have hundreds of clauses, right? It's not really worthwhile for your program to think that that's like one big clause, basically. It's like one reason for you to have that document. Really, what you want to do is understand each clause individually. And then once you've been able to segment the whole document and you have a slew of clauses, what you can do and what's smart to do, what good programs like ours do, is they recycle that and then they put that clause through the same rigorous effort as they put the entire document. So now not only do you segment the clause, but you understand the topics that are in the clause. You understand obviously the kind of clause it is, so you've classified it. Some clauses may have subclauses, so you're just doing that again and again and again. They may have tables or images, so you may pull those out again as well. And almost every single clause is going to have some sort of entities in it. So people, places, or things that are being acted upon. So you're going to understand individually within that clause each one of these measures. So you may have a clause that says something like, for back at the lease example, if you're more than 3 days late, we reserve the right to basically kick you out or something, right? So you want to know that the 3 days late is the measure there, and you want to know the action that could happen. You could very easily think of a program where you're like, okay, if I'm late paying, then what happens? And from that clause, you could get that answer quite easily. So then you would have the understanding all the way of the document itself and classification therein. You would understand the tables and images that are there, and you probably generate some metadata about all of them. And then individual clauses and articles, you understand those as well. You could now imagine how that paints the entire picture of the document and could really get you to a place where you understand everything about that document, and probably as well as every articling student who's ever read those documents will, obviously. Yeah.
Wow, very cool.
Yeah, so there you have it. That's scratching the surface and just starting to understand a little bit about what happens in Apogee Suite, especially with our NLP and AI, all about the legal world and legal document classification, table extraction, all the way through clause and understanding. Next week, we're going to continue talking about legal matters in AI and in NLP and how we've done some of the things that we do within Apogee itself. All right, have a great week. Bye-bye.